Okay, let me show you a few things under the crankcase real quickly here, because that could be all this correlates to based on what I know the reaction is when I caught that one that spit on the ground, but we show up legal precedents on disorderly conduct or spitting on the street in the same car or on the highway or anywhere else about somebody's facial expressions changing in the meat grinder by basics of information standards. No, it could be just a regular pullover. Which makes life simple about, well, how does that destroy my case? Because, well, what do you know about road law and things in here? Well, that's why I needed a camera in there. But I didn't have a camera in my car. Well, tank operators don't always have the screwdrivers and everything that go fix the AC in that motherfucker. But I bet you they know where the goddamn tool cabinet is, because everything costs the same thing in here. You might have to dig one out of your pocket and make sure that that standard is standards everywhere else. Not only that you put it in there, but how you get that tax back as a write-off by putting it in the ledger, right?
Right at 6 months. What was your employment before? I worked for the Henderson County Sheriff's Office.
We'll find out. We'll see what these ones and zeros correlate to exactly.
Hello, sir.
How long had you been in the sheriff's office?
Sure, because I have favorites.
I had been with the sheriff's office for approximately 6 years.
You think I'm not going to take Marshmallow off for a ride, Buttercup?
Were you sent to training anywhere?
I was. In 2008, I went to the Department of Criminal Justice Training Center, which is in Richmond, Kentucky. That's where all law enforcement officers.
Fort Jackson, it might as well be when you close your eyes, or anything else.
All officers go to this
Paradigm
academy.
or whatever.
That's where you're instructed in over a
Well, that's the beauty of certain standards that have AR-67, well, if it's Army, AR-670-1, comparatively, at the tomb, over there, changing guards over in cemeteries.
November the 10th of 2008, graduated April the 10th of 2008.
Yeah, I'll be down in a minute.
What was your employment after April 2009?
I worked for the Dawson Springs Police Department.
And how long
Hey, now,
did you work for that?
come back to me,
approximately 3.5 years.
Marshmallow.
And then after that,
There, I went to the sheriff's office.
so you've been continually employed as a law enforcement officer of some sort for how long?
Micro in here. Well, okay. Well, we're still not anywhere near the incident of whether any of that fucking shit matters at all inside here. What happened? What'd you see? Can I tell that that's legal precedence from here? A mile off, Bob Lee Swagger smoking one on the board to seeing a problem. Just any problem. I was like, well, let's look at all the facial expressions in here. Oppenheimer and the multi-form hands of the prince and the prince.
The utilization of preliminary breath
What is the
testing,
wobbles problem?
utilization of
It's
the
just,
tranquilizer
well,
machine.
does this Hubble's 45 on the lensing of a straight line on the screw bolt over a month being stretched out, starting to get out before it starts bending the main rail that thing starts cutting on for...
Yes, that went along with the standard field sobriety testing portion of the test. They actually
Well,
brought
if
in
you look at the tags on
subjects that
droid
were
programming
intoxicated.
here,
They gave them set amounts of alcohol for testing purposes for the students.
well, it's triphenyl alcohol
With
to
different
drop
levels
sodium
of
out of solution using magnesium or
each person that
lithium
you conducted the test
that have
with.
different reactions in the glassware. Right, the optics, sometimes it is going to melt that reaction flask, and other times if you get the temperature index right, that's what matters. Sometimes you need a heat aquaregia to boil before it will dissolve the gold.
Horizontal gaze nystagmus. It's an involuntary movement of the eyes caused by the
Venus in here, right, brother? I was like, because it come up and she was looking at this, and it started being the numbers. Your stock model at the Texas Bull Farm starts to drop real fast.
Consumed some type of intoxicating substance. There are exemptions to that. Some people do have a
Right,
natural
Sheriff.
resting.
I'd imagine I had 12 judges on my ass right now, because I'm not just playing this for right or wrong. I'm nitty gritty nuking Mars with Boggy Carl Sagan out here doing the twister theory, Pensrow, by any other standards of describing what'll happen before the big ass lightning bolt comes down and you get lit up for pounding on the door and wind up catching the devil in the form of Mike. You'd pay your dues because all the shiny they lit up with inside of here. That's easy enough. Pull it in the mill. I don't need that shit. My tags come on paper a little different. It doesn't have the same effect, but you notice it real fucking quick.
Ability to maintain balance without using hands.
It's usually because I don't smash that book around. It'll be things like right off on the first hop, if I let you start doing certain things without the explanation on training it. Yeah, I don't mind the cell phone in the workplace. When I haven't trained you to do anything, it's my job to give you that next step, because literally you cannot touch anything else. You start programming that stuff, she's going to wad up real good, because you just like 7, 9, 24, F11, F11, F11. No. And she locked up, or I either have to reprogram at 0, and as far as you're concerned, you exploded like a rabbit because you think that thing blew up, and it might have clipped that rock real hard, run into it, and stopped real good, overamped on the drop limit or something. Most likely in the first time analysis, that would be the marshmallow, what happened there, isn't it? And you'd be like,
Oh, absolutely.
And it's important to do that, in a similar way.
yeah.
Yes.
And do you
Say I'm missing the glory hole and smash that fucking mushroom stamp on your forehead.
Do you also have any experience in like illegal drug detection?
As far as
Observations of people that marijuana, the smell of marijuana.
the smell of marijuana,
You
I
can
was
clean
canine
it.
handler for a couple of years
Put
at
it
the
in your
sheriff's
ear.
office. During that time, I worked with the canine.
Was that one? I use this and like NBC, CNBC got some girl out there obviously playing too hard on a brand new market for a workers crew that was doing an infrastructure road line on things, and yeah, they pretty much was like, your new job is cleaning the glory hole, and that fucking treasure chest slammed shut for a little while on there because gravity.
To me at any given time when I was training with my canine.
Now, was that the extremities on M1, M2, M
Hey, I'm Holly, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A's new lemon kale Caesar
been
salad
paying
is
attention
the
to the
lemon
case.
Caesar.
Because like I said, I've seen the ones where it's like, well, what do you know about traffic law? What do you know about, well, it's 130 feet at, approximately 3 car lengths. I'm like, what? And that's the law being statistical analysis against infield experience and eyewitness testimony to the differential. Like, I gotta have them cameras, otherwise I expect that person to be drunk in the DUI case that turns over the legal precedence, you having to show up to court instead of being on the corner where I could, and then it makes a Drax equation on not just here, but percentageably if it was lined up on the pie chart, a bunch of different places, different degrees and temperatures and systems, man. One thing moving around here, you get jumping too hard, Jupiter come down and tell you to fucking behave because he's running for Kuiper belt. Well, meanwhile, you trying for your jitsu tags and he's got that thing grandmaster.
Henderson Bridge.
Yes.
Did you tell us what brought you to the bridge that day?
The original call that I went to the bridge was for a
But-
vehicle collision that had occurred.
And you find out they still punch the board and break it, and do all the tests, all the systems and the thing that would still correlate to numbers later on. And if you reach the structure of what that is, probably pulling it over very important. This whole court case, the timeline, him sitting here in court on post, one way or the other, even if he loses, let's face it. I don't know if this case goes to all the reaction flask when you drop it into the acid, because it would be one reaction. We might have to say, well, what this is in cases of we're dropping this case, but we're starting another one, and benzene or triethyl, whatever, fluorantimonium comparatively to sulfuric or aqua, and you find out what's metal, turn it into other metal, make it do something else on the AUAX, AVAW.
Determined he was not involved in
Few
the collision
there.
by talking with the vehicles. I parked my vehicle at the back of all the vehicles that were stopped. I
A
made my way
regular
to the
solution,
front,
right?
lined up the
That
line,
family in that
speaking with
church
each
right
person.
there, if we're just going to
When
play
I reached
the
the very front
Muhammad
vehicle,
Square
they
City
indicated
or
that Mr. Cotton was not
whatever.
involved. They had stopped abruptly because of his vehicle.
Z apocalypse there,
And the
World War
vehicle
Z.
behind them hit him. The vehicle behind them hit that vehicle.
Really become, quit singing.
Determine
Hey,
why Mr. Cotton installed.
Yes, when I spoke with Mr. Cotton, he stated that he had run out of gas.
I just want to be clear, so this happened on the southbound Henderson Bridge.
but it's not
Yes.
exactly Z Nation out there. For the most part, there's some tree burning fine, just standing in the sunshine, just being fine. And then there's the ones that are actually on fire.
Passenger in the vehicle.
No.
Was there any other person that was involved?
Blink, 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 blink. Benny would be like, get out here, the multimeters touching at the headstones, right?
He stated he was.
This one on the case did the numbers of the circuitry charge.
On the bridge. Are you familiar with Ellis Park?
Yes.
Did you tell Drew wasn't across the street from Ellis Park?
Sinclair gas station.
Once you have
Hey,
determined that it's not
Larry,
been driving that
Spectrum of Day
vehicle,
over
you have
there.
the occasion to ask him about his license.
Yes, I asked
Link
if he had a
there.
license, which is common
No, don't.
practice when we
That
get out
speed
of
limit, like I
vehicles.
said, you're gonna have work on your attitude, play the game, figure it out. You know, like where this would still play
It's something we do.
universal
For ID from the driver. We'll check for driver's
codex.
status, make sure that
I don't know
you're
if
not driving on
his
suspended
17
license, you don't have
or
any warrants or anything
you know whatever the
of that
game may be, but
nature. So I did ask Mr. Cox for a
topology.
driver's license, yes.
Well, there is the Himalayas, brother, and there is the bottom of the Mariana Trench, and I suggest you understand that damn
He
equation.
did give me his name and date of birth, as well as, I believe, at some point gave me his social security number to
For
locate
the
a driver's license for.
Oppenheimer, Vishnu, Shiva, Valentine Rabbit, son, you are in my
At
core.
that point, no, it was, when I obtained his license, it was actually during the course of my collision investigation. My initial interaction with Mr. Cotton directly
No such
was
thing as
after the collision
general
investigation.
relativity, or general labor. Only generals doing labor, realistically. Bang, bang, bang. The judge step out of line. This thing
Yes,
shifts one gear.
After I cleared up the
That's a different one.
I knew Mr. Cotton, I was going to have to call a tow truck for him, so I left him be while I got the vehicles that were still drivable going. After that, I went to speak with Mr. Cotton, questioned him about his driver's license
Probably
again,
way out, and then
because
the
we
one
were
that
unable to locate anything for him.
well, pulls out a lambda.
Speaking with Mr. Cotton, I
Lagrange
could smell
again.
the odor of marijuana coming from his person.
Hit it like this, and you got a
And
V.
actually,
Velocity,
let's back
Victor.
up. My initial contact, he was getting out of his vehicle, and I could smell the odor of marijuana coming from his vehicle as
You
well.
might be a wizard.
Then, fast forward to after the collision, speaking with Mr. Cotton, I could smell the odor coming from his person after he'd been outside of his vehicle for.
He got
I
long,
would
shaggy. Did he have
venture
long,
guess
shaggy
not
hair,
having
wearing a
the cab seat in
hat?
front of me probably 25
I knew
to
it.
30 minutes. Standing outside of his vehicle, I could still smell the odor of marijuana on his person.
Well,
And at the
we
point
know Salem witch trials numbers don't work. We grafted it. Nuke and Mars. Get out of here.
criminal
Yes.
investigation, because that's going to be turning the body camera on.
To explain the body camera situation, when I initially
Fermilab. Your ass is in it. Try to get as much in here as you can. I mean, like, sometime I'm gonna pull my pud around here just to give you a good reality to work in as an operator here.
I conducted my traffic investigation.
888. We're gonna gather pause here for a minute. That seems like a real bad idea if we go not dynamics inside this Dyson sphere, drunkard's walk problem, the monkey evolution, the GPT3. Beep beep. Catch you on the next one.
After